We're always so occupied. As a final year business student, I'm always expected to learn new technologies. However, new technologies just evolve over time to the point that I don't know what to learn, when to learn, how to learn, and what's more important is how can I know which one is more suitable for me? So here's where Preface comes in, where learning meets lifestyle. Good morning, everyone. We're from Team CityU. My name is Gloria, alongside my teammates, Harry, Kazi, and Andy. We're going to answer the question of how should Preface leverage their unique business proposition for continued growth in the next 3 years. So currently, we understand that there's a potential to engage entry-level tech job seekers, and as well as there's a possibility to expand into untapped international market. With our solution, Bridge and Build, we're expected to engage more customers and establish a bigger global footprint. So let's begin with our situational analysis by getting to know more about Preface. So it's a Hong Kong-based global tech enabling company that was established in May 2015 by Tony Lo. So it consists of two business entities, Preface and Preface Coffee and Wine. With a revenue growth of over 300% year on year, it is expected to reach 200 million USD in 2025. So it aims to integrate technology and learning, which in the side is the learning experience, and everyday life and community, which is Preface Coffee and Wine. In the learning experience, it offers fundamental content such as courses on how to learn AI, blockchain, and many more. And also Tech Bites, which is more than news, but less than a course, which is around 45 minutes to 1 hour collaboration with SCMP and Hong Kong Cable TV. So the unique things about this is the fact that it is the fastest in the spheres. It generates content which only up to 18 days with the ability of social listening. And the coffee and wine side, it has AI coffee and the ability to give us the learner community with integration of technology. For example, in here is the Oculus VR. So currently we understand that currently there's 10,000 of IT sector workforce that has left Hong Kong. And there's only 2,000 graduates to fill 8,000 vacancies. With the expats are leaving Hong Kong, we can conclude that there's a lack of high quality technology talent. So this actually resonates to your client, which is the corporates. They're having pain points in terms of their talent onboarding. They believe it is costly, time consuming, and the candidates themselves has knowledge gap in terms of what they actually learn in school and what actually needed for the job. For the customer, which is our B2C client, they have some pain points in terms of their learning materials. So sometimes there is no practical skills that they could implement in their career directly, and there's lack of career opportunity. And sometimes the course itself is less interactive and engaging, which leads us to the first insight. There's a potential to engage with entry-level tech job seekers. With our presence in Tokyo, Hong Kong, Singapore, and London, we believe that we can expand to other markets that have similar characteristics. For example, with high learning tech demand and purchasing power as well. For example, here, there's New York, Sydney, Melbourne, Seoul, and Shenzhen. This leads to our second key insight, potential to expand to untapped profitable market. So with these two key insights in mind, we can go back to our key questions and divide it into two. How to target more customers, that's the first part. And second part is where to target more customers. Now I'm going to pass my time to my colleague Harry to explain more about the solutions.
Thank you, Gloria. So we believe that Preface has the potential to engage entry-level job seekers with our first tactic, which is Bridge. So which can be summarized as targeting college students and working professionals in non-tech industries with opportunities for fast-tracking internships, for workshops, and for mentorships. And we believe with our tactic Bridge, Preface can bridge the gap between the potential to actually engaging more customers. So today, meet Jeff. He's a year 3 a student majoring in business management, and he currently has no coding or tech skills because he does not major in computer science. However, he does want to get into the tech industry and get a tech-related role. So for Jeff today, he has 3 questions or challenges. So how does he learn to code and get tech skills? How does he learn about the roles and opportunities available in the tech industry? And third, how does he prove that his new tech skills that he gained are relevant for a tech role? And with our tactic Bridge, he can bridge the gap between those questions and the actual solutions. So how does it actually work? So we believe that Preface should design courses specifically for tech roles and that gives them knowledge and skills, and format will be around 4 to 6 hours with each session lasting for 45 minutes to an hour, with some summaries delivered in Trinity's bite-sized videos, which is a key strength of Preface. And of course, students would provide a certificate and to put in their CVs. So a sample course can be, for example, how to be a network engineer, and it can involve courses like Intro to Network Engineering, Enterprise Network Technology, and actually job simulation to simulate a day-to-day life of a network engineer. And some of the summer videos will be created for around 45 seconds to a minute to summarize those sessions because this will be more digestible, especially for the younger students. And some can post it on Instagram for promotional or marketing purposes. Furthermore, we believe that Preface can offer fast-track interview opportunities for high-performing students who take the courses by leveraging its current personal relationships with a lot of B2B clients and organizations. So let's say Jeff takes the course in network engineering and performs really well. So an AI algorithm can give recommendation based on his performance and his interests, and it recommends L'Oreal and role of a network engineer. And he can apply directly to the role at the company with with a relevant referral code generated by the system. And the HR receives the application, and he'll be fast-tracked directly to the final interview, in which he has a much higher chance of actually getting the tech role. But here, Jeff is very fortunate because he knows what he's good at, and he has an interest in network engineering already. But for those students who don't know what they're good at in tech, or they don't know a lot about tech roles, they can take advantage of career coaching, workshops, and mentorships by nomads who are currently part-time consultants for Preface, who are working professionals in the tech industry, and they currently do due diligence on the first draft content generated by Preface. But we believe that they can go further and get more responsibilities by explaining their job roles as they're already working in tech, explaining key trends in the tech job market, and finally offering practical interview tips so the students can actually get the dream tech role they want. So we believe for this tactic that Preface should be targeting two key segments in the B2B and B2C segments. For B2B, we believe that Preface should target universities because their curriculum are too traditional and not agile enough. They cannot be changed quickly enough to adapt to new technologies, which are new ones are popping up every few months. And there are such vast tech job positions. So the process would be Preface would be the seller selling their services and products to universities who become the buyers, and the end users will actually be the students. However, we also believe that Preface should target the B2C market in terms of working professionals in non-tech jobs because their background is actually quite similar with the university students. They have similar needs because they don't have knowledge, they don't have experience, and most importantly, they don't have practical tech skills to use in the tech job market. So we believe that B2C market has a very similar background to university students. So going back to Jeff, the university student, we believe that Jeff can bridge the gap between not having practical tech skills with practical relevant skills for tech roles through engaging learning. Second, we believe that Jeff can bridge the gap between lack of proper understanding of the specific job role, for example, of network engineer, with a better understanding of the specific role through job simulation and coaching. And finally, Jeff can bridge the gap between not having a job as a university student to actually getting a dream tech job by being fast-tracked to the role that he desires. So in terms of actually implementing this tactic, we believe that Hong Kong should serve as a pilot stage, and if it becomes successful, to expand to where Preface has currently a presence, such as Japan, Singapore, and UK, and finally it can move on to newer markets that Preface does not have currently presence in. So the key benefits for the stakeholders would be for customers, it would give them practical and relevant tech skills, it would give them direct career support and opportunities, and they can learn in an engaging and interactive way using Preface's courses. For companies, it facilitates the recruitment process for them with skilled candidates with relevant tech skills. And because they already have the tech skills or coding skills necessary, it takes less time and cost needed to actually onboard them because you do not need to teach them the programming or tech skills needed. And finally, for Preface itself, Preface can face additional growth opportunities for more customer engagement. And finally, it can offer an improved value proposition towards customers. Next, I'd like to pass my time to Kazi for the second tactic.
Thank you, Harry. So, Preface has been growing exponentially in Hong Kong, more and more, especially in the past few years. However, they've left a lot of profitable markets still untapped. Therefore, we proudly present our solution, Build, through which we will be taking Preface's empire on a global scale and help them establish a global presence through multinational expansion. So let's address the question, why do we need to expand? So Preface, as previously mentioned, had strong growth in Hong Kong with astounding 300% year-on-year revenue growth and expected 200 million annual revenue in 2025. So why just stop there? Why not go further? Furthermore, Hong Kong has global taste. Being Asia's world city, it is the ideal testing ground for Preface. And luckily, because Preface has performed so well in Hong Kong, it could directly translate to similar responses in other large metropolitan cities who have similar characteristics to Hong Kong. So it's time for Preface to act now when it comes to expansion. In their current markets, they have strong presence in Hong Kong, but in other markets, they have more potential to expand. Furthermore, there are potential new markets that we have identified that could be profitable and they could penetrate into. However, it's not viable to kind of penetrate into all of these markets at the same time. So the expansion has to be strategic. Moving on, talking about current markets, in terms of physical presence, Preface has campus, office, and coffee and wine shops. However, something interesting we noticed is that Preface does not have a physical presence in Singapore. And we believe this is a big missed opportunity, especially because Preface, as a leading edtech firm, focuses on providing immersive learning experiences. And by not having a physical space where they could provide their immersive learning experiences, they are inhibiting themselves from unleashing their full potential in terms of growth. So we would suggest Preface to open a coffee shop in Singapore. So why coffee shop? Well, first of all, Singaporeans just love their coffee. And more importantly, the coffee cafe culture has become more and more prevalent when it comes to corporate networking. And furthermore, in Singapore, Preface already has existing large premium clients such as Richmond, so the implementation of this coffee shop will be smoother and it would be less risky. And by inviting their clients to this unique establishment, they'll be developing further trust and they would be establishing this differentiating factor with which no other edtech firm has right now. Furthermore, the Singapore market is not very different from the Hong Kong market, where Preface already has their coffee and wine shop model. So the business model would be easier to replicate. Now, this is Preface, so of course this won't be a plain old coffee shop we're talking about. It's going to be a two-storied facility located in Raffles Place, which is the commercial hub of Singapore. The bottom floor will always be open to the public as the cafe, where Preface employees could also host their face-to-face meetings with their clients, which is essential for retaining their customers. And the top floor will also be open as cafe, but from time to time, it will be reserved for their immersive learning, hosting their immersive learning experiences. We would also suggest having innovative technology in their store, such as VR Oculus headset. And that is because we want Preface to tell their customers and let their new customers know that they are a brand that truly value innovative learning and incorporate it with their lifestyle in the form of the cafe culture. Moving from current markets to new markets, we've identified 3 potential profitable markets here primarily: New York, Sydney, and Seoul. And based on our carefully picked 4 decision criteria, we have been able to assess, after thorough assessment, that New York is the way to go for Preface. And that is because New York has unprecedented demand for tech learning because of the existence of large corporate firms who really value technology. This directly translates to a greater number of corporate partnership opportunities, and most importantly, New Yorkers have high purchasing power, which outweighs the higher implementation costs and the more intense competition. For New York, our primary target would be the big corporates because of the large scale of these clients, and we would suggest building an office. And now why is that? It's because building a office is less capital intensive than per se a campus or a coffee and wine shop. And it would still allow simultaneously for Preface to have a physical space where they could host their immersive learning experiences such as boot camps and training sessions, while also keeping their costs at bay. This office would be located at low to mid Manhattan, where there are a lot of big corporate firms who really value this, the speed at which Preface develops educational content, and they will be hosting their face-to-face meetings there. So overall, our solution build would be providing strong multiple revenue streams for Preface, which would make them also resistant to any local economic fluctuations. Also, by forming more strategic alliances with global partners through this global expansion, they'll be setting a solid foundation for long-term growth. And last but not least, because Preface will be present in so many different countries across the world, it will slowly pave the way for them to be a leading name in edtech. Now I'll be passing my time to my teammate Andy, who will be talking about the implementation.
Thank you, Cassie. So let's talk about the implementation timeline. For our Tactic 1, we're hoping to start identifying tech topics that we can focus on in the second half of 2024. We're hoping to launch our courses and workshops for university students after the first quarter of 2025. Considering our Tactics 2, which is about building New York office, as well as the Singapore coffee shop, we are hoping to start the location selection second half of 2024 as well. And then we'll start the customer outreach in 2025. for Singapore coffee shop, we are hoping to get it running by the end of 2026. This is our cost analysis. For our Tactic 1, it's expected that we will have $2.5 million for Tactic 1, where the majority will be actually recruiting. We'll be recruiting the experts that we needed to do the first job of our contents, as well as building the short videos, the new materials making, including the short videos, a new form of information that we're planning to offer to our clients. And for Tactic 2, we are expecting a $2.1 million for our strategic expansion in both New York and expansion. The $1.15 million will be focusing on the overall cost of building up office in New York, Manhattan, and the $0.95 million will be the overall cost of setting up a new coffee shop in Singapore Central Business District. Considering revenue, within the first year, we are hoping to achieve a $1.8 million within 1 year, where the majority will be actually coming from the workshop fee that we collect from our university, because we're collaborating with them and offering new courses for them. For $0.18 million will be commission from partner companies, because they are using our platform as one of their way of job screening, which reduces their time as well as their cost. And finally, a small part of our revenue will be coming from one of our target clients, which are the individuals, which are hoping to transit from the original industry to IT industry. And we are planning to target that type of individuals as well. And finally, considering the impacts, in the first year, we're hoping to reach out to 3,600 newly registered students with 6 university alliance formed and with 10 new company partners formed within Tactic 1. For our Tactic 2, we will build a presence in both New York as well as Singapore. There will be 100 workshops expected to be held within the first year and reach out to 400 potential new clients. And now upon the time to Glory to have a
So therefore, we have concluded that currently we have the potential to engage with entry-level tech job seekers, and as well as potential to expand into untapped international market. With our solution, Bridge and Build, we'll be able to bridge those gaps and build new presence. Therefore, we can actually have more customers engaged and establish a bigger global footprint. So thank you all for listening to our presentation, and we'll open the floor for questions.
Thank you, team. Let me just reset this time. Yeah, feel free to start with the Q&A, teachers.
Sure. Regarding the suggestions of bridging and building, so with the entire analysis, do you see what could be the biggest blocker with the expansion? Or the biggest challenge?
Yes, it's at that.
Yeah.
I think one of the challenges that we will need to recruit a new group of experts for, because we are offering a very different role-specific courses. So we need to recruit a new group of people who are able to build the new contents, who are on board with us to build new contents for our students. And in terms of mitigation, actually, we realize that even in IT industry, even for role-specific courses that we are offering, there are some common skill set that they require, and we believe that the effort and amount of expertise that we need to recruit is not as much as we originally expected. And on the other hand, we think that because there are existing competitors in the market as well, such as Coursera, as well as different online learning platforms. But why us? We would like to leverage the unique advantage of our company purpose that we have a strong network with different companies. We're also familiar, we will have active discussion with different clients, so we know what kind of talents that they are looking for. And by collaborating with university students, actually we pave the way for them to connect our client as well as our students who are actively learning different skills, so that when they get on board, they will effectively perform well in the job that is under our class.
I would like to add on a little bit. I think in terms of the solution I presented, which was build, there could be a few complications. If we go back to the decision matrix, you can see I've rated the cost kind of low for New York. It's because setting up an office in New York would be kind of expensive. So the initial investment would kind of be, it's understandable if Preface is skeptical about making that initial investment in New York, because also initial customer acquisition could be a little difficult. But I think if utilizing the right opportunities and if networking properly, which Preface is strong with, the payoff could be huge in New York. So it's definitely worth taking a look into.
So with Tactic 1, do you think you need some other capabilities in the organization to undertake that?
So absolutely, we believe that it does take some effort for content generation. That will take more capabilities. However, we believe that because for a lot of these course designs, it's not like we're creating all of the new content that we create all new. So for example, when it comes to network engineering, you still need some bases and other types of tech that Preface's current course offerings can add. So not all of the new course content will be created out of thin air. It would also be supplanted, and it would also be created as part of its existing course offerings. So let's say if you want to learn network engineering, you can have some basis with existing course offerings. In addition, the role-specific ones can be the ones that are newly created.
But with this Tactic 1, you're basically creating a separate proposition in terms of allowing people to get jobs or interviews at the end of the process. And for that, do you need other capabilities to undertake that?
I believe, if I understand correctly, right now, what it's like in the market is that they do not, as a student myself, I do not quite understand the skills that I learned in university education is actually contributing to the role that I am trying to achieve. And then, in order to fill this gap, we will need extra capabilities by collaborating with Preface, and Preface will collaborate with their partners, so we can generate contents which is related to the role, then put it in the course, and then as a student, I can understand more about the role-specific information, about the knowledge that I need to understand before I get on the job. And I believe extra capabilities in terms of collaborating, we need the people from the company. We also, actually, one of the very interesting business model Preface is using is that we will ask the nomads, I believe it's like around, we will need them to verify our information. So these are the actual capabilities that we need require. Actually, this is what we have been doing as well. So we just expand on the current model to university education, so we can bridge the gap between university as well as the workplace. Thank you.
I'd like to add on a little bit more to that. In terms of our corporate partners, we would need to communicate with them in advance about the fast tracking as well, of course, because this would be we would be helping them with onboarding. So we would need to understand which of our current corporate partners really value these, are open to having these fast track interview opportunities, because some might be resistant and may want to stick to their own onboarding. So we really need to understand who would be kind of open to this more agile method, I would say, and which companies would really value and would really trust us with providing the quality of our content, first of all, because if they trust in the quality of our content, they would be able to trust that we're actually providing them with qualified candidates. And we would also need firms that actually value the rapidly evolving technology. Suppose we would need firms who really maybe value prompt engineering, because that's a big thing now. And in terms of that, we would need to look, okay, what space these firms are keeping up with technology. If they don't really need such employees with such a fast and updated tech skill set, then maybe this is not the best choice for them. But for companies that do really value the most updated technology, maybe they would be our ideal corporate partners for this particular tactic.
Yeah, I'm also interested to know more about Tactics 1. one of the focuses that you work with the universities and then to help upskill students
Yes.
how to connect with the corporate world, right?
Yes.
Maybe a bit related to the last question for Rudy is on what is the value added or differentiator, what they learn from the universities. Is this something like the interviewing skills, which is that's part of it, or is there any others competence that we are looking for to help upskill the students?
I can take the question. So I'm going to give you an example for myself, for example. Like right now, I'm studying business analysis. And I'm currently working for a summer intern, say in HSBC. But for what I learned, I only learned about Python or on several data sets that I have just received by this professor. However, I have never learned on how I can actually scrape the web, or how I can actually get some inspiration, how I can actually work with the web itself. So by actually having those knowledge skills that the prof has actually given to me, I will be able to learn more about how can I actually implement those Python skills that I learned in schools into the workplace. And I believe this is something that university students really look for. And this is what we believe can be a differentiator, because every time the technology evolves over time. Like I said, maybe Python may be one of the most important language today, but maybe next time it may not be Python, it may be something else. And therefore, curriculum cannot be adjusted that quickly for us to actually learn. And the university cannot adjust it as fast as the evolvement of the technology. And that's why prep is gonna be our platform to actually know what is important in this specific role. So that's one of the key points that prep is gonna help.
Thank you.
So one more question is also related to TEDx ones. I guess it's also resonate the questions from the judge. Would be, well, for prep, because for TEDx ones to be successful, this company practice need to work on the recruitment side as well, right?
Yes.
So that's why, what do you see the resources allocation and what could be the challenge? Because particularly, say, HR department, there are L&D, learning and development, they're also recruitment. So which means practice need to expand from L&D to recruitment. And what could be the challenge and blocker? And what are the new resources needed for this company to be successful in this area?
I would say one of the major challenges is that what are that company that they are also offering onboarding training to their clients. Actually, practice also do plan on like onboarding training to different clients as well. That's what we have been doing. But one of the major challenges is that now we are trying to narrow down to different role-specific information, which means that we will put more effort and more time into building these information. But the opportunity that we see in here is that how are we able to leverage our close collaboration with different partners and including the recruitment side. So we're able to understand what are their latest needs. We believe that we need to have, of course, we need to have like close communication with the recruitment side, so we understand what are the people that they're actually looking for, what are the hard skills needed, what kind of personality of people they're looking for. And with our system, we can generate personalized recommendation of different roles as well as different contents for them, so we can match the students as well as the corporate, what's needed in the corporate side. I hope that answers your question.
I'd like to add on to that just a little bit. I think there are definitely more resources that PEFIS is going to need with the implementation of this tactic. And I think one of the resources that PEFIS really needs over here is IT assets and capabilities. It's because we're going to be collaborating with the HR side of these corporate partners more closely. So we will be needing a platform where we'll be collaborating more closely with these different corporate partners. It's because we're going to be sharing a lot of data. We're going to need to understand what their specific needs are and share what's also relevant in the current job market what maybe the students are looking for. So there needs to be a kind of collaborative platform where we can make a more cohesive communication. Yeah.
To add on the IT capability, we will need to build, because we are trying to build a new kind of information dissemination to our clients as well. We'll start making different short videos. We're making different contents that is tailored to university students. So these are the people that we need, and we also need the IT capabilities to build all the new contents as well as the course that is closely related to job market.
In the B2C segment, are there other target segments or target subsegments that you think that are important here that you're missing out? Because you're completely just focusing on the school leaver or the job seeker.
I think we chose the work professionals to not take jobs specifically. First, because this tactic is only a short-term plan. So of course, it's limited in terms of expanding the reach and target. So we want to be more focused on in terms of who we're targeting. And also we chose them a little bit more of a niche market because they have, like we explained in the presentation, they have a very similar background with our university students. So we do not have to create new products, like the value proposition and the sales process would be similar. So in terms of, because of course, one of the questions you been focusing on was training capabilities and how do you ramp it up to actually implement this plan. So in terms of practicality and implementation, if we were to target a much larger group of people in the B2C segment, it would not have to be one product origin all of them. We would have to create new types of courses or new type of products to cater to those new segments within the B2C segment. So we wanted to be as focused because we do know that there are logistical challenges, especially in the short term. So in longer term, if we can have more products or services we can offer, we can try to expand the B2C market. But within the next 3 years specifically, we believe that this is the right focus target to group to target.
Time for one more quick question.
Okay.
I have one more question. Is on your suggestion of building the Singapore coffee and wine shop.
Yeah.
And how would you position Hong Kong and Singapore? Because Hong Kong and Singapore are really quite close and similar picture from the international perspective. So how would you differentiate? And why do you add this as an additional strategy?
Okay, so the reason over here I've pointed out that like you've also mentioned that Hong Kong market and Singapore market are kind of similar. And the reason why we've chosen Singapore is because if we know something is working so well in like the Hong Kong market, which is similar to the Singapore market, there's a higher probability and it's a more safer option if we also do it in Singapore. Also, Singapore just needs a physical presence overall anyways, so why not go with something that we know has a higher probability of a success and is just way more innovative, and especially because Singaporean businesses also really value innovation with their business.
Thank you. Thank you, team from CityU.
Thank you.